What's up, you guys? Spooky Neighborhood Geek here doing another horror, horror comedy review. This time on John Fascinano's The Jitters. Yes, starring James Hong and Marilyn Takuda. Um, yeah. So I didn't know this. Apparently, the director of this movie also directed Rock and Roll Nightmare, which starred a real band at the time called Thor. Um, I assume it's the same. I assume it's the same movie. I didn't think to look, but um, which is funny because I really love that. That's a really bad, like a so bad it's good horror movie, but it's like Rock and Roll Nightmare had all the things to make a good horror movie, and yet it came out like really bad. But he also directed another movie called Black Roses, which is about a band, an evil band or something. So that might get a video. If I have access to that movie, I might talk about that one in by before the end of this month. But yes, James Hong. If you don't know who that is, you've seen him. He's been a lot of stuff. I think he might be in his 90s now, and he's still, acting. Um, he's been a lot of stuff. Very well known Asian actor. Like he's on the same level like Jackie Chan. He's been in so many things. Um, so like I said, if you're curious, you can just Google what he looks like, but I'm sure you've seen him in plenty of projects. Um, Marilyn Takuda, she's very pretty. I'll say that much. She played one of the main characters, and I'm not super familiar with her, so I didn't really bother to look and see what other projects she was in. But she did good in this movie for what it was. This came out '89. Um, yeah, I think I mentioned before, I love '80s horror. I love how horror movies were made during that period. So there's a playlist on YouTube of '80s horror related, videos and '80s horror movies, and this was on the list. I was looking like, I didn't, didn't know what to look at. I was like, let me see if there's anything on my horror list playlist to watch. And I came upon this one. I was like, all right, we'll give it a shot. It was only like an hour and 17 minutes, so it wasn't too long, which was good because I was watching it late at night. um, and it was okay. So basically, this is like a vampire horror comedy movie. I think they pulled a lot from like vampires and Asian culture, which was really cool and entertaining. Again, it was kind of low budget, but that adds to its charm. Like I said, the cast did fine. It was entertaining. I would watch it again. Yeah, I would watch it again. It was okay. It was a solid watch. Um, Originally I was wanting to watch another Asian sci-fi horror movie, but I unfortunately didn't have access to that, so we just had to settle. I was like, all right, I'll just settle for this one. Um, but yeah, what's the story? And I think this takes place in New York. I can't remember if they said. I think yeah, Chinatown, New York. Um, so we have Marilyn's character. Um, Her parents passed when she was young, and she was raised by her uncle. Her uncle owns like a gift shop antique store. Word on the street is that he has like a big fortune tucked away somewhere in his home or his store. So there's so our antagonist of the movie, a gang leader and his gang members keep kind of harassing Uncle. Ironically, the uncle has the same name as my father, which is kind of funny. Um, but they keep harassing the uncle, who is named Uncle Frank. Um, it was funny because there was a scene where they were trying to mess with Marilyn, and he came outside and he was doing some karate. It was funny. He was getting beat up by this old man. It was funny. Um, so Uncle Frank scares them off. Marilyn's boyfriend shows up, um, and the two of them like go to a convenience store to pick some things up, and they were going to come back. Just so happened that the gang returned. Spoiler: something bad happens to Uncle Frank. Basically, I'm sure you could probably figure out what that was. Um, yeah. So apparently, in this world, if you pass on, and I forgot James Hong's character and his son, um, they explain how it works. But basically, like if you pass away and you feel like you have unfinished business, so to speak, you might turn into a vampire. And it's really silly because the vampires have to hop on one leg or something, and it was really weird. I'm not sure if that also ties into the lore from Asian culture or their interpretation of vampires. I'm not sure. Um, but yeah, so that's kind of what happened to Uncle. He kind of turned into a vampire. James Hong and his son, who run like a shop where they deal with like supernatural stuff. Um, they're trying to help take the have the uncle rest and have his soul pass on. There's a couple other vampires they have at their shop who are in the same predicament, and they put these I forgot what they're called, like these tags on their faces that calm them down and basically put them in like a sleep mode. If the tag is removed, then they wake up and start doing what vampires do. So a lot of shenanigans ensue. The gang, of course, they get involved. They end up using, and the finale is really funny and entertaining. Um, Marilyn gets kidnapped by the gang. They end up using our good guys end up using the vampires to help them uh, defeat the gang in the end, which was entertaining. Um, there's a scene where one of the gang members got turned into a vampire. I hope I'm not spoiling this 30-year-old movie, 40-year-old movie. Um, yeah, and then like the special effects with that scene, like we see his transformation, that was really well executed and really entertaining and put together. Um, but it's just a fun, dumb horror comedy. I mean, I liked it for what it was. It was entertaining. Like I said, I like low budget movies, so oh, excuse me. Yeah, I like low budget movies, so I enjoyed it. Um, but yeah, it was fine. It was a good watch. It was a good watch. Like I said, cinematography again. I'm assuming this was like uploaded through a VHS tape. I'm not entirely sure. Um, but yeah, it was good. It was good. Like I said, if you like Asian cinema like me, you'll probably like it. If you like low budget horror comedies, it's worth your time. I wasn't bored while watching it. Like I said, I genuinely enjoyed it. It was like, okay, well, okay, this is interesting. This is a little all over the place, but you know, it was good. So yeah, that's probably it. Like I said, it's on YouTube. Just type it in on YouTube. The Jitters movie or 1989. This should pop up. Like I said, not sure what the next video is gonna be. Um, like I said, as of this recording, due to my upload schedule, I'm still uploading content that I did in September. It's still early October as of this recording. I think it's like October 10th as of this recording. So I don't know. I don't know if I'll be able to get out all these spooky reviews. Some I probably get some out in October, and then some might um, blow over into November. We'll see. But content is content. So, um, but yeah. So stay tuned. Stay tuned for everything I have planned. But as always, like, comment, share, follow, and stay tuned for more. Peace, you guys. What's up, you guys? Spooky Neighborhood Geek here, doing another, I guess, yeah, 80s sci-fi horror, Japanese horror movie review. Here we are, doing another one. Um, this time we're looking at 1987's Cyclops. You see behind me, Cyclops. Yes. Yeah. This was interesting. This is only like 52, 53 minutes, so it's like an hour. It's currently on YouTube, which I'm grateful for. So if you're interested, check it on YouTube. Um, yeah, this was an interesting one. I believe so. Ironically, this came out. This came out October 26th of '87. So I love this came out during Halloween season, way back then. I believe this was direct to DVD, and I don't think it did all that great when it was released. Unfortunately, it's fine for what it is. It's basically body horror, sci-fi body horror type of movie. You see some of the imagery behind me. These two characters, um, and I like that. Like I'm a fan of body horror. I mean, you could people would say like Alien franchise is considered body horror. Of course, John Carpenter's The Thing, that's considered body horror. You got movies like Society, which is a I may talk about that one. That one I would kind of put in the body horror category. And there's other movies. There's other movies too, but those are the ones that come to mind when I think about body horror. Um, and this is a good one. I would kind of put this in the same category as Guzoo, which if you're not familiar with that, I did a review on that. But it's Guzoo is around the same runtime as this movie, and I'll get into that. But I would kind of put like Guzoo is also kind of body horror, so I would put these two movies like you could watch these back to back basically if you wanted to. Um, but yeah, like I said, came out in 1987, directed by George Ida. Cool. I think he did a good job. I'm not sure how big the budget was. Like I said, it was only 52, 53 minutes. So, um, yeah, this movie's kind of a slow burn, honestly. As always, I always say this with certain pieces of media. The concept was there. The concept was there, but the execution was not all the way there. Unfortunately, is it still a watchable, enjoyable movie? If you like this genre, yeah, it is. It is. Um, because like I said, the body horror aspects we really don't get that until like the last 15 minutes of the movie. So you're probably asking, well, what happens for the first half of the movie? Well, let me try to get into that the best of my ability. um, so we basically find out that in this world, mutants exist, and there is a video where someone kind of made a comparison to X Men, which was pretty interesting since X Men are mutants. Um, and a scientist was trying to find a way to help mutants basically continue to live like due to their body structure physiology they don't live very long, so the scientist was trying to do an experiment to find a way to extend a mutant person's life and give them the ability to try to live a somewhat normal life. um, the scientist passes away, and his student tries to carry on his legacy by using his wife as I guess as a guinea pig. Kind of a spoil. Well, they're supposed to be having a baby, yeah, and of course she's not. She doesn't know that she's been experimented on. And that's kind of spoilery territory. But anyway, so that situation happens, and um, another character, or maybe I can't remember, like another group of people. Um, they're they're trying to maybe they're trying to take out the mutants or something. Um, one of their one of their hired people, assassins, who is someone on this screen. You might be able to figure out who it is without me pointing it out. Kind of a spoiler. That person, the person who's working for this other group of people, is also a mutant, and he ultimately kind of hatches a plan to, I guess, destroy all mutants in some shape or form, starting with um, the baby that hasn't been born yet. Um, yeah, there's also the scientist's student. His sister is also she's also a main character, and she's also kind of wrapped up in this chaos and stuff. I know. I try to explain it the best I can. Uh, it's it's a lot for what it is. It's okay. Like I said, it's entertaining for what it is. The finale, when they're at the hospital, the wife is giving birth or whatever, and I guess our anti-hero, so to speak, tries to stop the baby from being born and all the other chaotic stuff. Him and the scientists, um, like I said, the student who's carrying on his teacher's uh, work, he's a mutant as well. And we have these two mutants fighting each other, and this gory, uh, gory sequence, gory, bloody sequence, and it's good. Yeah, it's good. Like I said, you see some of the imagery behind me. Um, it's good for what it is. And the finale is kind of open ended, honestly. Like I said, it was a straight to DVD, via I guess via VHS '87, straight to DVD VHS film. Wasn't really received well. Excuse me, when it came out. Probably had a limited budget. The fact that it was like an hour. Oh, excuse me, like an hour or whatever. So I give leeway. I give a little bit of leeway. Consider all those other real world factors for why the movie turned out the way it did. But I don't know. Like I felt like if it had a longer runtime and like the story's good. Like I tried my best to try to explain it. But maybe there was just like a little bit more structure to it, and we I don't know, got to learn more or see more about the mutants and stuff like that. Um, it would have been a really solid watch. But like I said, there's other Japanese horror movies kind of similar to this. Another one is Bloody Muscle Bodybuilder in Hell, which I've done a video on, which is really good. So like if you wanted to have a J horror movie binge, like I said, you could add this to the rotation and watch it and enjoy it for 52, 53 minutes. um, but like I said, this and Guzu, and like I said, this is why I made the comparison about Guzu. Guzu had a very interesting concept, and I like what the movie was doing. But in Guzu's case, we never learned where the antagonist originated from. It felt very Guzu felt very incomplete, and I'm not sure if they had planned on doing a part two to that film, and I guess just didn't have the finances to make a part two. I don't know. So, in Guzu's case, that movie felt very incomplete, just not structured well. While this movie, Cyclops, like we get enough information to understand what's going on, but it just I don't know, it just felt like it needed more time to be expanded upon, I guess. Um, but yeah, those are my thoughts. It's cool for what it is. Like I said, I love 80 horror movies, 80 sci-fi horror, 80s body horror. I just love the way horror movies were made during this era. So I liked it for what it is. Again, I like the cinematography, and it was really cool. It was obvious they filmed on location in Japan, I'm assuming. So it was really cool to see Japan, like the streets of Japan in 1987. That was I don't know. It was like looking through a time machine or something. I don't know. So, but yeah, it's like I said, it's on YouTube. Check it out if you're interested. Like, comment, share, follow. Stay tuned for more. Peace, you guys.